Welcome everyone. Today we're exploring another of the key elements of well-being, efficacy. In this bite-sized session, we'll cover what we mean by efficacy, including self-efficacy, collective efficacy, why efficacy is important, and how efficacy affects well-being. Before we dive into the main content, I'd like to take a moment to remind you about what it is that we do at Cynefin, and more importantly, what are the values that underpin our work. These values are the foundation of everything we do. They help shape our mission and define how we approach working alongside school communities and parents with empathy and purpose. First, we have early intervention and prevention. This value highlights the importance of addressing issues proactively. By stepping in early, we can support sustainable growth and help prevent challenges from escalating. The goal is to create sustainable, nurturing environments that benefit everyone involved. The next is context. We recognise that every school is unique with its own strengths, challenges and culture, and that's why we tailor our support to each school's specific needs. It ensures that our approach is inclusive and respectful, meeting the realities of children's education where they are. And then there's inclusion, equity and voice. This value reflects our unwavering commitment to fairness and open communication. We believe that every individual within a school community deserves equal opportunities and a voice in shaping their environment. It's about fostering collaboration and shared ownership. These are key to building a positive and inclusive culture. Together, these values, early intervention and prevention, context and inclusion, equity and voice, guide us in enhancing well-being and educational outcomes. They keep us focused on what matters most, which is supporting school communities and parents in ways that truly make a difference. In addition to our values, our vision principles set the direction for how we engage with schools and communities, shaping the impact we strive to achieve. Valuing relationships and learning is central to Cynefin's philosophy. We believe that strong, supportive connections between schools and within schools are essential for thriving communities. This principle drives us to foster environments where everyone feels valued and actively engaged. Co-creating well-being acknowledges that well-being cannot be a one-size-fits-all approach. We collaborate with school leaders, staff and parents to cultivate conditions that support mental, emotional and social well-being. By co-creating these environments, we ensure that well-being initiatives are meaningful and sustainable for those involved. And empowering sustainable change is about helping school communities to navigate change constructively. Change can be challenging, but with the right support, it becomes an opportunity for growth. Our goal is to equip schools with the tools and confidence to embrace change and to drive lasting progress. So what does this all mean? Well, we've crafted our offer to meet the varied needs of school communities through targeted support and professional development. For example, we provide professional learning and development through bite-sized training sessions like this, and in-depth training on wellbeing components. For schools with specific needs, we offer bespoke support, including a whole school approach and the use of the spiral of inquiry to drive improvement and address priorities. We're offering reflective practice supervision sessions, which is central to our work. We also facilitate individual or group sessions that celebrate, support and strengthen professional practice and well-being within school communities. And we're exploring additional areas such as head teacher supervision, pilot projects designed to build a sense of belonging in school communities, and we're developing our digital well-being resources and parent webinars to extend our support to families, recognising the essential role that parents play in the wellbeing journey. We hope our offer allows us to work constructively with you and with school leaders and educators to ensure that our support is both research informed and aligned with what each school community's unique needs are. So if you've got any projects you'd like us to be involved in, or you'd like to speak to us, please do reach out. Thanks. So going back to the main presentation, we were talking about efficacy, and this is our bite-sized session on efficacy. Efficacy is one of those funny words. It sits quite high up on the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it can only really be achieved once safety, love and belonging or their love and care needs and belonging needs are all met, it's closely linked to agency, which we're going to explore a little bit later. Put simply, efficacy is the ability to produce a desired result. It's the power to create an effect on the world. Efficacy is that I can feeling, the belief that you know your goal and how you can achieve it. It's related to but distinct from self-esteem. In The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, the mole, though small, saves the fox from a snare, even though the fox threatens to eat him. The fox doesn't harm the mole, and they become friends. This story shows that even small actions can have a big impact on others. We can think about efficacy in two ways: self-efficacy, which is about the individual, and collective efficacy, which is about the efficacy of a group. Self-efficacy is context-specific in that it can fluctuate between different domains in one's life. For example, a person may have very high levels of perceived efficacy in social situations, social efficacy, but lower levels of academic efficacy, and vice versa, of course. An example of collective efficacy is when a team of people share a goal. For example, teachers in a school with a goal of high academic attainment of their pupils. Another example might be a netball team who have a shared goal of winning their next match. Within schools, both self-efficacy and collective efficacy influence the community in very different ways. Collective efficacy research has largely focused on the impact of the goals that educators hold for their pupils, i.e., the efficacy impact of one group upon another. However, we also know that group cohesion and shared goals within groups has a really positive impact on well-being. So to recap, efficacy has two forms: self-efficacy and collective efficacy. Self-efficacy is the belief in one's own abilities, which can vary from one domain in life to another. Collective efficacy is the group's shared belief in it that they can achieve a goal. Like a teacher who's aiming for student success. Perhaps they want every student in the class to achieve an A grade in mathematics. Or a team who's working towards a win. Both self and collective efficacy impact on school communities differently. Research shows that when we share goals and we have a good, strong group cohesion, it has a especially powerful impact on well-being once achieved. Here are a few examples of self-efficacy in action. So one young person, the one on the left, was unable to work remotely thanks to the tools provided to him by school. Another student who struggled with reading is now in the top group thanks to teacher support. And the parent of a child with significant difficulties was supported so that their child could remain in mainstream school, simply because the school didn't give up. And we also have some examples of collective efficacy. Teachers who go above and beyond, giving their time to help children to achieve their goals. A shared afternoon where children proudly show their achievements to parents and to carers. And wellbeing courses that help parents to support one another. In another example, at Fitzland High School, every student in one class achieved an A star in their maths GCSE, led by their teacher, Francis. The assistant head teacher described him as being on pins like an expectant dad, showing how deeply he cared about his students' success. This moment captures the power of efficacy in teaching. So, how do we get efficacy? Well, it actually comes from many different sources. Experiencing success, not just the big moments, but actually small everyday wins like getting out of the door on time or acts of kindness can make a difference to this. In the theory of Vygotsky's zone of proximal development, we can see what a person is able to achieve with support and with the gradual process of providing scaffolds and then encouraging independence. This can be a daily thing. Seeing other people succeed also makes a difference. So with positive role models showing what's possible, whether it's staff, pupils or others that are able to build success in the areas, in these areas, people are able to be inspired by others' achievement. I think that generates both the collective sense of self-efficacy and quite likely collective efficacy, that together we can achieve great things. Also, simply receiving encouragement, it greatly boosts our own sense of self and collective efficacy. Think how it feels when somebody actually nurtures you to achieve your goals. And finally, managing negative emotions and understanding that setbacks and difficult emotions are part of the journey, and learning how to manage them helps to stay focused on future goals. If we get caught up in the negatives, then it can undermine our sense of self and collective efficacy. Self-determination theory explains how our internal beliefs influence performance and emotional well-being. Competence, one of its key components, is closely aligned to efficacy. It's the belief that we have the ability, the skills and the resources to achieve our goals. The three components in self-determination theory, competence, autonomy and relatedness, overlap with our own elements of well-being, efficacy, agency and belonging. When they're nurtured, they all lead to increased motivation. They also lead to increased engagement and overall well-being. This is why schools are vital in supporting these internal factors. We all need all of the components present to foster a sense that I can do this, I have opportunities, I belong to this community, I'm motivated and engaged, and I have pride in my work. And when these are all met, we can see both enhanced performance and enhanced well-being. So let's conclude by thinking about how we can promote efficacy. The people in the middle represent any member of our school community, whether they be staff, student or parents. The circle around them symbolises the support in place provided by the whole school community. And the steps show us how the support can strengthen both self-efficacy and collective efficacy for each person. Having some high expectations allows us to achieve more than we thought possible. Taking pride and having pride in other people's work and our school environment also creates a sense in which we're able to achieve things together. Having scaffolds and support to guarantee success, no matter how small, again gives us small wins and helps us to take pride and feel like we're able to make progress. All this benefits our self-confidence, our pride, our motivation and our resilience. Research shows that higher self-efficacy predicts higher expectations for achievement, while lower self-efficacy predicts lower expectations. That was Tan and others in 2008. Help seeking also boosts academic expectations, so schools need to offer support and students need to access it. Kapara and others in 2008 found that lower self-efficacy relates to lower academic achievement and at higher risk of dropping out regardless of their economic background. Having high expectations challenges students to succeed and strengthens their connection to the school. Recognition and pride in one's achievements are key to efficacy and emotional well-being. Solomon and others in 2009 found that pride in their school and having a say in activities, that's agency, positively impacted on young people's views and sense of belonging. To promote pride and efficacy, we should provide opportunities for students, staff and parents to pursue their personal interests. We should notice their achievements and recognise success beyond just the academic. Supporting achievement means recognising the unique support each person needs. We must move away from a one-size-fits-all approach to person-centred support. We should move away from equality to equity, where everybody is supported to have a fair chance and to have opportunities in society. When teachers regularly highlight a student's strengths, their potential and their accomplishments, and they guide their next steps, it helps the students to see themselves differently in relation to their learning. That was Brooks in 2006. Efficacy increases self-confidence, pride and motivation. Resilience, it benefits students, staff and the wider community. It's important to celebrate efficacy in an inclusive way, focusing on distance travelled rather than on external benchmarks. We need to ask, where did this individual start? What does success look like for them? Efficacy isn't just about competence, it's about the process, not just the end result. When we get this balance right, the benefits are clear, as shown on the screen. Self-confidence, pride, motivation, and resilience. So to conclude, let's remember that efficacy looks different for everyone, and it's about that person's individual journey and the distance that they've travelled. So thank you for joining our Cynefin professional learning on the elements of well-being. We hope the sessions provided valuable insights into creating a more resilient school community for everyone. We have created this QR code and questionnaire which take less than 2 minutes to fill in. Your voice really matters to us, and it helps us to provide content that meets your needs and the needs of your school community. So please, could you spare just a couple of minutes to tick some boxes, and if you like, share what you'd like us to do next. And that's all from me. Bye for now.